The following is a live presentation of Retro Sports Network, home of the champions of the past, present, and or future. Happy Sunday, happy Mother's Day, wherever you might be. My name is Ron Juckett. Always swallow before you hit the start streaming button. Welcome to the program for this 12th day of May, 2024. So this is the makeup for the game that we didn't have on Friday. We are going to only do one baseball game next week, because that's the All-Star game. So this is our last stream before the All-Star game, and we're in Detroit on a warm day in July for the Tigers and the A's, Saturday, July 9th, 1988. The Tigers are part of that five-team melee for the American League East title between the Brewers, the Red Sox, the Blue Jays, the Tigers, and the Yankees. I believe the Red Sox are on top, at least for this one anyway. Milwaukee and Boston, you're going to see a lot of that series as they are coming right out. We're going to be right back right after this. The cat snuck in here. So the Tigers are part of that. Oakland is still in a lot of trouble. Record-wise, they're okay. They're 47-39, but they continue to trail the Minnesota Twins by a large margin. And so it's the Twins. Oakland's going to need some help. 9.5 is a lot to get back. This is game 87 for Oakland. And for Detroit, this is game number 84. So certainly now in the second half of the season, the All-Star Game live on YouTube, noon Eastern on Wednesday from Riverfront Stadium in Cincinnati. And so that's the setup for you. Oh, by the way, Frank Tanana on the hill for Detroit, and Bob Welch, who has struggled, on the hill for Oakland. So if you're ready, I'm ready. The cat wanted to watch. She doesn't care. It's time for baseball here on Retro Sports Network. As Retro Sports Network presents Major League Replay 1988. Today from Tiger Stadium in Detroit, Michigan, it's the Detroit Tigers and the Oakland A's. And today's game is brought to you by DigitalDice.com, the best darn podcast on the web for your sports simulation and replay needs. Find us today on Spotify, Spreaker, iTunes, or wherever else fine podcasts are listed. And so as Frank Tanana takes his warm-up tosses, how you doing, John? Glad you are all right. Nice to have you along on a Sunday. Hopefully Mother's Day is good for you. So as you can see, it is Welch, who is 8-7, a 5.53 ERA. That's not good. Frank Tanana pitching above his head with a 3.44 ERA. He is 8-6. So let's tell you about Tanana. Frank is making his 18th start. He's got 14 left after this. He's 35 years old. The lefty went from being a thrower, like he was with the Angels. John is doing his 1983 replay in action. I'm assuming baseball. Tanana became a pitcher and throws that fastball at 85. He has made 17 starts, and 10 of them are quality starts. He last pitched on the 4th of July, so 5 days ago, in a 3-2 win over Seattle. Did not get the decision in that ball game. 8 innings, 120 pitches, 8 hits, 2 runs, both earned, a walk, and 6 strikeouts. On the 17th of June, he struck out 10 and threw a 4-hit shutout over Toronto when they won 10-0. Your Braves are in first. Congratulations, 40-29. So John doing that in baseball for you. Tanana has thrown 125 2/3, 125 hits, 56 runs, 48 earned. He's given up 12 homers, he's walked 33, and struck out 80, 21st in the American League. So it's not like Tanana can't whiff people when he needs to. It's just not his primary thing anymore. Here's how the A's are going to line up for you. Carney Lansford at third will lead off. Dave Henderson in center will bat second. Jose Canseco in right hits third. Mark McGuire at first will clean up. Canseco and McGuire headed to Cincinnati, I'm sure. Don Baylor, the DH, will bat fifth. Terry Steinbach behind the plate goes sixth. Stan Javier in left will go seventh. Mike Gallego at second batting eighth. And Walt Weiss, who's having a pretty good year at short, will bat ninth. Tanana maybe can get you all the way. He can throw 125 pitches. Defensively for the Tigers, Pat Sheridan a 4 and a 2 in left. Luis Salazar is a 3 and a 3 in center. Chet Lemon is a 7 and an 8 in right. Tom Brookins a 4 at third. DeJesus a 2 at short, so no Trammell. Whittaker an 8 at second. Darrell Evans a 4 at first. Matty Noakes a 4 and a 4 behind the plate. And Tanana is a 7 with a .977 fielding percentage. It is warm, 85 degrees for Saturday, July 9th, 1988. Winds blowing from right to left at 7 as Carney Lansford digs in at 282, 6 homers, and 43 RBI. This one starts. He bunts one, and Noakes will concede the single. A little, excuse me, chopper, and Noakes didn't make the throw. So Lansford's on already. I guess that wasn't a bunt. Here's Dave Henderson at 270, 10 homers, and 46 RBI. Tanana, the lefty, throws to Evans, and Lansford is there. Carney has good speed. Doesn't have Ricky Henderson speed. Then again, unless you are in the know, no one had Ricky Henderson speed. Hendu, 270, 10 homers, and 46 RBI. Lansford stays, and Henderson strikes out. A 1-2 fastball on the outside corner, one away. So that'll bring up Canseco. Jose at 299. Look at the outcome box there. Heavily weighted towards Canseco. Jose, 21 homers as we reach the break, and 71 RBI and 25 steals. Struck him out. Tanana got him on a 1-2 fastball right down Broadway. And since we're in Detroit, Canseco stood there like a barn on the side of the road. So here's McGuire. Mark at 275, 21 homers, and 64 RBI. Canseco shaking his head as he goes back to the dugout. Tanana's pitch. McGuire passed Whittaker into center field. Salazar will cut it off. Lansford, is he going to go to third? He should. He will. The throw is cut off by DeJesus, and the A's have runners on the corners, 2 out for Don Baylor. Don at 201, 5 homers, and 15 RBI. So Lansford at third. McGuire on first, 2 out. For Baylor, runners go. That's a base hit in the left center field. Salazar will cut it off. Lansford's going to score. McGuire, not fleet of foot, is going to try. Louie with a throw to third. Brookins can't put the tag down. And again, runners on the corners and 2 out. This time for Terry Steinbach, who's hitting .301. 2 homers and 17 RBI. So a good start for Oakland. They're up 1-0 here with 2 out in the top of the first. And Steinbach gets hit. Terry shakes off the wrist. Oh, got him in the leg. So he rubs the leg as he goes down to first. They'll put some of that spray stuff on it. Won't do any good because Terry's wearing pants. It is also 85 degrees. Javier at 292. No homers, a triple, and 25 RBI. So McGuire on third. Baylor on second. Steinbach on first. And Oakland already up 1-0. Tanana, deep breath. Slow chopper to Whittaker, who throws to Evans, and Javier is retired. So the A's are going to leave him loaded. And if you're in Detroit, it's Strohs. 1 run, 3 hits, and no errors. Half an inning in the books. It's Oakland 1. Here come the Tigers. So Bob Welch has struggled mightily in this replay. He was a 17-game winner with an earned run average of 364 in real life. He might win 17 before all is said and done, but his ERA is 5.53. He's 8-7. So Welch is 32, throws the fastball at 87, and is a standard pitcher. He last pitched on the 4th of July against Cleveland and beat them 8-7. 6 2/3 to get the win, 131 pitches, 8 hits. Again, Christmas treed, 7 earned runs. Didn't allow a homer. He walked 2 and struck out 5. So overall for Welch, 123 2/3, 145 hits, 84 runs, 76 of them earned. He's allowed 6 homers. He's kept the ball in the yard, 56 walks and 72 strikeouts. Here's how the Tigers will line up. Dave Bergman, the DH, will lead off for Sparky's Tigers. Lou Whitaker at second will bat second. Pat Sheridan in left will go third. Chet Lemon cleans up in right. Darrell Evans at first will bat fifth. Louis Salazar in center will go sixth. Matt Noakes behind the plate will go seventh. Tom Brookins batting eighth at third. And Ivan DeJesus, really? I remember when he was with the Cubs. We watch him on WGN. Getting one of his 7-game cameo in there. He's at short, batting ninth. And Bob Welch, the sentimental lady on the mound, he could go a complete game. We'll see about that. Defensively, for the A's, it's Javier a 5 and a 3 in left. Henderson a 7 and a 4 in center. Canseco a 6 and a 9 in right. Lansford a 4 at third. Weiss an 8 at short. Gallego a 5 at second. McGuire a 7 at first. Steinbach a 7 and a 7. And it's never too early in the day, especially on the weekend, for a 7 and a 7. And Bob Welch is 7 on the mound with a .980 fielding percentage. Bergman stepping in at 248, 2 homers and 16 RBI. So, Oakland up 1-0 here in the first. And Bergman, did he get hit? Or was that ball 4? That's a walk. 3-1 fastball missed high. Welch shakes his head. Nobody out for Whitaker. Lou hitting .244, 7 homers, and 20 RBI. He puts that one in the left center field. Javier will grab it on a hard hop. Bergman is going to stay at second on the single. So first and second for the Tigers, nobody out for Pat Sheridan. Hitting .257, 9 homers, and 33 RBI. A's are really at the point now where they really can't lose to any good teams. There's just that much room to make up. When you're down at the break by almost 10 games, you're gonna need help. We know all about the 78 Yankees. You don't need to use that. We know all about that. Pitch to Sheridan. Struck him out. Welch got him on an 0-2 curve swinging. So 1 out for Lemon. Chet at .277, 13 homers and 54 RBI. Struck him out. Got him on a full count curveball swinging. So Welch got him to chase. And that'll bring up Darrell Evans, hitting .232, 11 homers, and 28 RBI. Welch digs in. Gets away from Steinbach. Bergman takes off for third. The throw down to Lansford from Steinbach, and not in time. So that's a wild pitch, and everybody moves up 90. So Bergman on third, Whitaker on second for Darrell Evans. And a 1-ball, 1-strike count. So the Tigers, a single should plate 2. A ground ball, third base side of the rubber for Welch, over to McGuire, and Evans, who is not fast, is retired. So the Tigers threaten but do not score. No runs, a hit, and no errors. We go to the second here at Tiger Stadium. Oakland 1, Detroit 0. So Gallego, Weiss, and Lansford to face Tanana here in the second. Mike hitting 179, no homers, and 4 RBI. To first, Evans, 1 out. I'll bring up Weiss. Walt hitting 254, a triple, and 30 RBI. The wind is now shifted to right center, technically, at 1 mile an hour. It is a warm, humid day here in Detroit, 86 degrees. Remember, if it gets to 90, you get a free cone from Nestle. Pitch to Weiss, to Tanana, third base side of the rubber, over to Evans for the out. John's so comfortable with that, with his hot Atlanta Braves. They wouldn't even drop a sweat at 86 degrees. Here's Lansford. Carney singled and scored in the first. Tanana opening 9, 37 pitches, inning and 2/3, 3 hits and 2 strikeouts. And, of course, the run was earned. He drops another one down, and Brookins will just pick it up. So Carney and Lansford, must be Joe Falls said something in the paper, because Lansford has had an excuse me swing single and now a bunt single. Brookins let it roll, and it didn't hook foul. So Lansford with a wry smile on his face. As Dave Henderson digs in, he struck out his first time up. Tanana throws over to first, and Lansford is back. So Carney Lansford, again, doing his best Ricky Henderson impression out there. Struck him out. Tanana gets a last word, a full count fastball. Got him looking. Not sure what Henderson was looking for, but he didn't get it. And after an inning and a half, the A's have now stranded 4. No runs, a hit, no errors. And after an inning and a half, it's the A's 1, the Tigers nothing. So 6, 7, and 8 for Detroit. Salazar, Noakes, and Brookins. Salazar at 274, 4 triples, and 23 RBI. Ground ball to third. Lansford over to McGuire. 1 out. So All-Star Week, we're with you live Wednesday at noon on YouTube. Tomorrow on Twitch, we'll be doing some hockey for you. 77-78 season, the Canadiens invade the Forum to play the Los Angeles Kings. And then we'll figure out what we're going to do on Thursday. Matt Noakes hitting .310, 9 homers, and 33 RBI. Welch steals. That is into left field. Javier turns and watches it go. A home run for Noakes, his 10th of the year, and this game is tied. So Noakes just ripped one down the line. Opposite field. And on this hot day in Detroit, Noakes just torched it. Noakes nuked it. Yes, he did. Here's Brookins, 261, 4 homers, and 21 RBI. Welch, in 125 innings, has only allowed 7. On the real year, he allowed 22 and 244 and 2/3. Brookins walked him. So Welch has kind of lost the script here in the second. A check swing on a 3-1 fastball. And that'll bring up the corpse of Ivan DeJesus. He's 0 for 8. DeJesus is only on the team through the break. I don't know if Trammell got hurt. But kind of like with Leon Durham on the Reds, it's not something you're going to pull out of your hat that you knew that DeJesus played here. Pitch to DeJesus, left field, Javier way in there, and makes the catch, and Brookins goes back to first. In fact, he has to go the other way to Weiss with the throw. 2 out for Bergman. Opening 9 for Welch. 43 pitches. Inning in 2/3. 2 hits. The home run to Noakes. He has walked 2 and struck out 2. Bergman, one of those 2 walks. Popped up, right center. Henderson is there. Rides the Schwinn, makes the catch, and that'll do. However, Matt Noakes, as John said, he nuked it. A nuclear bomb from A-Rod. Nope, that doesn't work, John. After 2, Oakland 1, Detroit 1. So Canseco, McGuire, and Baylor to face Tanana here in the 3rd. Jose struck out with runners on in the 1st. Lines this one to left. Sheridan, 1 out. Brings up McGuire, who singled. McGuire in 1988 was still a skinny kid. Struck him out. Tanana has whiffed for a 1-2 fastball. I'm not sure if they think that Tanana throws harder. But he's fan 4. He's now fan 84 and 128 in the 3rd. Here's Baylor. These old teammates. Baylor took him for an RBI single in the 1st. Left field. Sheridan by the pins. Makes the catch, and that'll do it. So a good inning. No runs, no hits, and no errors. We go to the bottom of the 3rd here in Detroit. A's 1, Tigers 1. So Whittaker, Sheridan, and Lemon to face Welch here in the 3rd. Lou singled his first time up. Right center, Canseco. 1 out. Sheridan struck out his first time up. He draws the walk. So it'll be Chet Lemon who struck out. Sheridan not a threat to steal. Welch sweating a bit out there. That wind is now shifted to right at 2. Which means we'll mention it, but it's not doing anything. That flag, and remember the flagpole is in play here at Tiger Stadium, is limp in 88 degrees. Pitch to, I'll throw over to first. Sheridan is back. And a balk because it's 88 and Sheridan goes to second. So Welch kicks the dirt around the mound, and then Lemon with a 1-ball, 1-strike count. So Welch has to regain his composure. Pitch. And Lemon takes advantage of it, rips it into left center for a single. Sheridan has good speed on the bases. And they're going to try and run on Javier's arm, which is below average. The throw to Steinbach's close. They got him! So Detroit tried to force the issue, and Javier with a good throw to Steinbach, who put the tag on him. 2 out. So Welch dodges 1 here in the 3rd. Here's Evans, who's 0 for 1. Lemon on first. And an opportunity lost, at least for the moment, for the Tigers. Up the middle for a base hit, so it did cost the Tigers a run. Lemon doesn't stop. Henderson made a bad play. The throw to 3rd, and Lemon, it bounces away from Lansford. So Lemon's into 3rd. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. So 1st and 3rd, 2 out for Salazar. Louis got some power. We haven't seen a lot of it. He hit 12 on the real year. He has 1 on the replay. A single gives the Tigers the lead. He's 0 for 1. And Welch on this warm day is already up to 64 pitches with 2 out in the 3rd. How you doing, Big Dave? Pitch to Salazar. Into center field. Henderson coming in will make the catch, and that'll do. So this one has been a story of stranded runners. No runs, 2 hits. The Tigers have left on 5 through 3. And after 3, it's 1-1. So Steinbach, Javier, and Gallego to face Tanana here in the 4th. Terry, he got hit by a pitch in the leg. This time around, ground ball to first. Evans, 1 out. For Javier, who's 0 for 1. Someone asked what I was using for software again, and this is Action PC Baseball 2024, DKSports.com, and this is the default picture for Tiger Stadium. Some of the stuff that you see on the channel, from other games or stuff I've grabbed, but this one comes with the game. Pitch to Javier. He laces that one to left center field. Salazar will grab it on a hop. And Javier is on, and he can steal. So, Dave, did you remember Ivan De Jesus played for the Tigers? Gallego, by the way, 0 for 1. Evans and Brookins play for the bunt. Javier has a good chance to steal. In fact, he has 13. Wheel of Fortune play. Evans goes back to first, and Javier is back. So they play for the bunt, and I'm sure they're just going to give Javier second base if he wants it. He doesn't go. It is a base hit into left field, however. And Javier is going to go to third. Not sure if they did a hit and run there or not. Runners on the corners, 1 out. 6 hit for the A's as Walt Weiss steps in. 0 for 1. Again, this is game 87 for Oakland and 84 for Detroit. Runners on the corners, 1 out in a 1-1 game. Pitch to Weiss. Laced into center. Salazar, will he make the catch? Javier goes back, and they'll concede the run. And so Salazar made the catch. Javier tags and scores. That's a sac fly for Weiss. And Oakland's up 2-1. So 18 batters deep for Tanana. 67 pitches. 3 2/3. 6 hits. 4 strikeouts and 2 earned runs. Lansford is 2 for 2. He has singled twice and scored once. Gallego takes a leisurely lead off of first. And Lansford draws the walk. So the 3-1 curve missed low. And that'll bring up Henderson, who struck out twice. So Gallego on second, Lansford on first, 2 out, 2 on, and a 2-1 Oakland lead here in the top of the 4th. Popped up, Salazar will get it, and that will retire the side. The A's, however, get a run on 2 hits and no errors. We've played 3.5 here at Tiger Stadium. Oakland 2, Detroit 1. My straw has ran away. So here are the standings. Just before we hit the break, Boston and Toronto are tied. In fact, Boston's up by 3/1000th of a point. Milwaukee a half game back. Detroit 2.5, and the Yankees are 3.5. Cleveland, they've fallen off the wagon, and Baltimore is thinking about suing Robert Irsay again. In the West, the Twins are up on Kansas City by 4, and Oakland trails by 8.5. In the National League, the Mets 6.5 up on the Pirates, and the Reds lead the Dodgers by half a game. So that lost weekend or lost midweek series in New York for Cincinnati hasn't necessarily hurt them. Not sure it helped them, but it didn't hurt. Matt Noakes heard of baseball the last time up. He hit his 10th of the year. 1 for 1. That came in the second. That's in the right. Canseco. 1 out. For Brookins, Tom walked his first time up. Ground ball to third. Lansford's there over to McGuire. And Mark is on the bag, and Brookins is retired. 2 out for DeJesus, who is 0 for 1. DeJesus, of course, came up with the Cubs. He went to Philadelphia and I think was pretty much chased out by Juan Samuel. One of those old-fashioned no-hit, good glove shortstops. Pitch to DeJesus. Avon swings, popped up left side. Henderson is there, and Dave will make the catch, and that'll do it. No runs, no hits, no errors. We've played 4 here in Detroit on a warm, muggy day. It's 2-1 Oakland. So Canseco, McGuire, and Baylor. Jose is 0 for 2 with a strikeout. Tanana is ready and starts the 5th with a walk. So Canseco trots down to first. Full count fastball missed below the knees. Second walk for Tanana. Here's McGuire. Mark has singled and struck out. There goes Canseco. They'll throw down to Whittaker, and Jose has his 26th steal. And so, as someone reminded me a few weeks ago, he was the charter member of the 40-40 club, and it was in 1988. I think he's got the 40 steal part down, although he only stole 40 on the year. The question is, will his power keep up to get him the 40 homers? Here's McGuire. Mark 1 for 2. He is singled and struck out. Tanana's pitch. That's a base hit in the left center. Canseco's going to go all the way home. McGuire is in the second with his 15th double of the year. So the A's add to their lead. It's now 3-1. Brings up Baylor. Don 1 for 2. A single and an RBI. Struck him out. That's 5 for Tanana. Baylor chased a 0-2 fastball. 1 out for Steinbach, who was hit by a pitch and is 0 for 1. Ground ball left side, base hit. McGuire trundles around third. Sheridan doesn't have much of an arm, and the throw will go in the infield. So McGuire scores. It's 4-1 Oakland. So 8th hit for the A's. Here's Javier. Stan 1 for 2. A single and a run scored. To Tanana. Whittaker for 1 and Evans for 2. So they get the double play, but the damage is done. 2 runs, 2 hits, no errors. And halfway home on a cold, rainy day in Burlington, it's Oakland 4, Detroit 1. So if you join us late, here's how we got here. Don Baylor, an RBI single in the first, made a 1-0 Oakland. Detroit tied the ball game in the second, and as John said, Matt Noakes nuked one for his 10th of the year down the line and left to make it a 1-1 game. In the third, they failed to score on 2 hits and a walk. Oakland made him pay in the fourth. Walt Weiss, an RBI single to make it 2-1. And then just a moment ago, they nickel and dime the Tigers for 2. A Mark McGuire double to score Canseco. And Steinbach single to score McGuire. So Bob Welch, a 4-hitter through 4. The lone run, the Noakes homer. He has walked 3 and struck out 2. Tanana, 8 hits through 5. 4 runs all earned. 2 walks, and 5 strikeouts. In fact, for Welch, 18 batters, 76 pitches, 4 runs, or 4 hits, 4 innings. A home run to Noakes. He's walked 3 and struck out 2. Did either of you see the Northern Lights Friday night? Bergman, by the way, is 0 for 1 with a walk. Left field, Javier. 1 out. So here's Whittaker. Lou is 1 for 2. Welch winds and fires. Here's a ground ball to Gallego. Mike scarfs it up, throws to McGuire. 2 out. For Sheridan, Pat is 0 for 1. He has walked and struck out. So for Welch, this is one of his better outings of the year. He kind of had the hiccup in the second, but only to Noakes. Struck him out. That's 3 for Welch, and that'll do it. No runs, no hits, and no errors. We go to the 6th here at Tiger Stadium. Oakland 4, Detroit 1. So Gallego, Weiss, and Lansford to face Tanana here in the 6th. Gallego 1 for 2. Detroit threatened in the 3rd. Had a runner thrown out trying to score, and that kind of stymied the rally right then and there. To De Jesus. Over to Evans. 1 out. Here's Weiss. He has an RBI. It was 0 for 1. Excuse me. I believe that was a sac fly. This one he punches over Whittaker for a base hit. That was close. So Weiss has a single. He's now 1 for 2. And for Oakland, that's their 9th hit. Tanana, 27 batters, 104 pitches, 5 1/3, 9 hits. All 4 runs are earned. He's walked 2 and struck out 5. Lansford had an excuse me single in the 1st, and then a bunch single his 2nd time up. He's also drawn a walk. Popped up left side, Brookins in the foul territory and is going to run out of real estate. And somebody from Windsor made that catch. It's 3-2. Ball 4. So Lansford has reached base all 4 times up. Tanana snaps the ball back in his glove. That full count fastball was way outside. 1 out for Henderson, who's 0 for 3 and has struck out twice. Tanana hoping for a ground ball. Noakes and Tanana try to get on the same page. Frank delivers. Struck him out. That's 6 for Tanana. A 2-2 fastball that Bugs Bunny said was slow. And Henderson, again, I think Henderson's thinking that Tanana throws a lot harder than he thinks. Looks like 6 is going to be it for Frank. Here's Canseco. He is 0 for 2. Has walked, struck out, stolen his 26th, and scored his 65th. First and second, Canseco struck him out. So whatever Noakes said work is Tanana gets out of it clean. No runs, no hits. The A's have left, or 1 hit rather. The A's have left on 8, and after 5.5, it's Oakland 4, Detroit 1. So Lemon 1 for 2. He is singled and struck out. Up the middle, Gallego with a big dive in the hole. Almost on the grass. Over to McGuire, 1 out. So here's Evans. Darrell 1 for 2. Has himself a single. Tigers have been held to 4 hits. And the lone run on the Noakes homer in the 2nd. Evans draws the walk. 4th walk for Welch. Full count changeup missed down and away. Brings up Salazar, who is 0 for 2. Struck him out. He got him on an 0-2 curve in there at the knees. Salazar shakes his head going back to the dugout. 2 out for Noakes, who homered the opposite way down the line and left in the 2nd. He draws the walk. Back in the summer of 2001, Big Dave was in the Chicago area for work and decided to go to a Schaumburg Flyers Northern League home game. Wow, Matt Noakes was catching for the Flyers, and Les Lancaster, former Chicago Cub pitcher, was on the mound for the visiting Lincoln Salt Dogs. Both well past their prime, but fun to see them both still playing. I bet. It is something that you just really can't get out of your blood. Regardless of the sport that you played, you want to continue to play it. Here's Tom Brookins. He walked and is 0 for 1. So Welch in a bit of a jam here in the 6th. 2 out, 2 on. And Brookins the tying run. Steinbach and Welch have a word. Bob kicks and fires. Struck him out. How about that? He chased an 0-2 fastball and Welch gets out of it. Dave says, I was told that Noakes used his private pilot's license and flew himself to games. That's cool. So here comes McGuire, and that'll do it for Tanana. Who are we going to go with? Well, I think we're going to go with Willie Hernandez. The lefty, the 84 Cy Young and MVP, is now 34 years old. Was a teammate of Avante Jesus's, by the way, in Chicago. Fastball at 92 and a fly ball plus pitcher. Only making his 16th appearance on the year. He pitched 2 days ago in this series against Oakland in a 7-6 win. He went 2 innings, 33 pitches, a walk, and 2 strikeouts. Overall, Hernandez has not been a workhorse. 19 and a third innings, 9 hits, 4 runs, all earned, a homer, and that came to Milwaukee on May 17th. He has walked 7 and struck out 18. They got Paul Gibson in case they need another long reliever. McGuire is 2 for 3, has doubled, drove home his 65th, scored once, and struck out. Hernandez winds and fires. That's in the left field. Sheridan, 1 out. Did you see where Roger Clemens pitched in the game for the Savannah Bananas? That seems like a fun thing to do, doesn't it? Here's Don Baylor. Don is 1 for 3. RBI single and a strikeout. Gets away from Noakes on strike 3. The throw down to Evans, and he's retired. So a full count fastball, and no one could find it. But it was a strike. Here's Steinbach. Terry 1 for 2. RBI in a single. We'll see about what I want to do with De Jesus. Bergman and Whittaker in the 7th for Detroit. Slow chopper to De Jesus over to Evans. And Steinbach is retired. Stretch time, 4-1. John says they stream all their stuff on YouTube for free. You know, I've never actually sat and watched them. I think it's cool. I actually spent some time yesterday. Let's see if Trammel's available. And Trammel is not available. He must be hurt. So De Jesus will stay in the ball game, 0 for 2. Our dear friend D. Scott Howard and I chat a lot about the athletic program at D. Scott Howard's alma mater, Washington Western University, and been watching some softball clips. So softball stuff pops up on YouTube. and had a recommended feed, a league out of Hilton Head, South Carolina. It is as fun as you could be. It's modified slow pitch, and it's all free to watch. And what a blast. What an absolute blast. Oh, and by the way, Western Washington University, those young ladies are gone to the Super Regional to play Cal State Domingo something or other in a best of three. DeJesus swings. That's in the left field for a base hit. Henderson and Javier are there. DeJesus doesn't have the speed anymore, but that is a single. That's only the 5th hit for Detroit. Bergman is 0 for 2 with a walk. Welch, 108 pitches, 27 batters, 6+ innings, 5 hits, a homer. He's walked 5 and struck out 5. And if you're wondering about Western Washington University, just as with the NCAA baseball tournament, it is a double elimination. They played Cal State San Marcos yesterday. They had to win both games. They won the first one 7-1. Now, they are hosting as the number 1 seed. But in game 2, they were considered the road team and won 2-1, I think, or 3-1. Very good stuff. And their announcer, by the way, is fantastic. I highly encourage you to look it up on the tube. Pitch to Bergman. Here's a ground ball right side, base hit. So Canseco will pick it up. DeJesus knows better and will hold it second. So first and second, nobody out for Whittaker. Lou is 1 for 3 with a single, and he is the tying run. This might be 2. Gallegos got it. Weiss for 1, and Whittaker's going to reach. So there's no throw. And Whittaker and DeJesus, runners on the corners, 1 out for Sheridan, who has struck out twice and walked. He's 0 for 2. The one thing, amongst many things, that I forgot about softball is you can't leave the bag until the pitch is thrown. And so you're watching the runners on base, and they look like, if you played like rod baseball as a kid or something like that, they just kind of have to stand in place until the ball has been released. And good luck trying to steal on those pitchers. Pitch to Sheridan. Ball 4, and the bases are loaded. So Welch has walked 6. A full count fastball missed high and inside. 1 out for Lemon, who has power. He's hit 13 on the replay. He is 1 for 3 with a strikeout. So DeJesus on third, Whittaker on second, Sheridan on first. A single will certainly score DeJesus. And Whittaker, I would think, would be a 50-50 proposition. Now, an extra base hit would score Sheridan. Might be 2. Weiss has to wait for it. Gallego for 1, and there's no throw to first. So it's a fielder's choice. DeJesus scores. Lemon's on first, 2 out, but it's a 4-2 ball game for Darrell Evans, the ageless wonder for the Tigers. Whittaker on third, Lemon on first. Evans is 1 for 2. He is singled and walked, and a home run now gives the Tigers a 5-4 lead. So it is a hot day here in Corktown, 91 degrees. So y'all get free ice cream. How about that? Pitch to Evans, and he draws the walk. 7 for Welch. The 3-1 fastball missed inside. Here's Salazar. Again, he is 0 for 3 today with a strikeout. On the real year, he nailed 12 home runs. He's only hit 1 in 218 replay at-bats. And if he was to uncork one now, it'd be one of the biggest hits of the year. So Whittaker on third, Lemon on second, Evans on first, 2 out, bases loaded, 4-2 Oakland. Welch deals. Struck him out. Oh, baby, what a good pitch. A 1-2 rainbow curve that Salazar just watched. Tigers going to run. 2 hits, no errors, and they have left on 10 after 7. Oakland 4, Detroit 2. Don't you think on a 2-strike count, especially if it gets to 3-2, that you're chasing anyway? I mean, Javier's 1 for 3. Stan has singled, grounded into a double play, and scored. Left field, Sheridan, 1 out. Gallego 1 for 3. Mike's got a single. Hernandez going to try to get 2 innings out of him. Rips this one in a shallow left center. Going to drop in front of Salazar, and that's a hit. 10th hit for Oakland. Gallego on first, 1 out for Weiss. Walt is 1 for 2. He is singled and hit a sac fly. Now driven in 31. Popped up. Left center. Salazar. Carried a little more than I thought. Makes the catch. Gallego goes back to first. So 2 out. Here's Lansford. Frank Tanana couldn't retire him. He singled twice, he walked twice, and scored once. So Hernandez, again, trying to get the last out here in the 8th. 4-2 Oakland. And I don't think they're going to go to Welch to pitch the 8th. There goes Gallego. I'm not sure. The throw down to Whittaker, and they got him! So Gallego was sent, and Noakes threw him out. And the A's get nothing on a hit, no errors. We go to the bottom of the 8th. It's Oakland 4, Detroit 2. So Noakes, Brookins, and DeJesus. Can't imagine Welch is going to pitch a heck of a lot longer today. Noakes homered in the 2nd, his 10th. Center field, Henderson drifts to the right, 1 out. And it will be Eckersley to try to get 5 outs. Eck, 24th appearance, he's 2-2, an earned run average of 2, flat. 34, fastball at 89, and a ground ball plus pitcher. He last pitched 2 days ago, took the loss in a 7-6 ball game. They have not used him to close. They used him all the way through May 30th, and he's only had 1 save since. He gave up the game-winning home run 2 days ago. 18 innings, 12 hits, 4 runs, all earned. He's walked 3 and struck out 16. Now again, I've looked at this, and he hasn't even come close. So Tom Brookins is 0 for 2. He has walked and struck out, nobody on. Base hit, right center field. In fact, that's going to split the gap. Brookins, I think, is going to get 3. Weiss from Canseco to Lansford, and Brookins has his first triple of the year. And so the Eckersley slump continues. Now, he's got a 2-run cushion. So here's DeJesus, who has singled and scored. That came in the 7th. He's 1 for 3. Ground ball to Weiss. Brookins will score. The throw to McGuire, and DeJesus is retired. So it's now 4-3 with 2 out. And here's Bergman. Dave is 1 for 3. He has singled a walk. So the Tigers have chipped away at this. What was a 4-1 ball game is now a 1-run 4-3 game. Left field, Javier by the pins will make the catch, and that'll do it. But the Tigers make it a 1-run game. They get a run on a hit and no errors. We go to the 9th here in Detroit. It's the A's 4, Detroit 3. So Willie Hernandez has done his job. You would think after 6 years of this I would know where to hit. Paul Gibson, 28 years old, fastball at 88, standard pitcher, making his 21st appearance. He's already made his start. 3-2, a 1.49 ERA. Pitched yesterday in Oakland's 7-1 win. 2 2/3, 39 pitches, a hit, and 2 strikeouts. Overall for Paul, 36 1/3, 23 hits, 8 runs, 6 earned. He's walked 9 and struck out 17. So Lansford, who was at the plate when Gallego was thrown out trying to steal to end the 8th. Carnage has walked twice and singled twice. We're with you for hockey tomorrow. We're with you Wednesday on YouTube for the All-Star game. And Thursday's a surprise. Pitch to Lansford. That's into left center. Salazar going to let it bounce in front of him, and Lansford has had a perfect day at the plate. He has reached base all 5 times he's been up. So here's Henderson. He's 0 for 4. He has struck out 3 times. Gibson throws to first, and Lansford is back. There goes Carney, the throw down to Whittaker, and he is in there for his 21st steal of the year. So a 1-strike count to Henderson. Gibson deals. Line drive left field. That's going to drop in front of Sheridan. Lansford has the green light. No, he doesn't. He held up. So here's Canseco. Jose is 0 for 3. He has walked, stolen a base, scored, and struck out twice. Popped up. Shallow center. Salazar makes the catch. Does Lansford tag? No. So 1 big out, and here's McGuire. Mark is 2 for 4. He is singled, doubled, driven in a run, scored, and struck out. Got him! A 1-2 curveball on the outside corner, and there's 2 out. For Don Baylor, who was 1 for 4, he has singled, struck out twice, and driven in a run. Whittaker, Sheridan, and Lemon in the bottom of the 9th in a 1-run game. To third, Brookins goes to Whittaker for the easy out, and that'll do it. So the A's threaten but do not score. They've left on 10 overall. No runs, 2 hits, no errors. Bottom of the 9th we go, 4-3 Oakland. So Whittaker 1 for 4 with a single. 4 runs, 12 hits, no errors for Oakland. They've left on 10. Tigers 3 runs, 7 hits, no errors, and they have left on 10. Detroit 1 to tie and 2 to win. To third, Lansford, McGuire, 1 out. For Pat Sheridan, who has walked twice and struck out twice. He's 0 for 2. Got him! So tipped in the glove, and his last chance saloon for the Tigers is Chet Lemon. Eckersley's first strikeout. He is looking for his 10th save of the season. 92 degrees. It's a hot day in Detroit. And Eckersley's hair is drenched. He winds and fires into center field. Henderson and Gallego. Henderson makes the catch, and the A's win the ball game. A good one. 4-3. So 3 hours and 39 steamy minutes here at Tiger Stadium. The A's go to 48-39, 4 runs, 12 hits, no errors, and they leave on 10. The Tigers fall to 44-40, 3 runs, 7 hits, and no errors, and they left on 10. Bob Welch goes to 9-7. It was an hour on the nose, Big Dave. 7 1/3, 6 hits for Welch, 2 runs, both earned, a homer. 7 walks and 6 strikeouts. Eckersley, a 5-out save. Gave up a run. Allowed a hit and struck out a man. He hasn't hit 10. Tanana, 6 innings, 9 hits, 4 runs all earned. Walked 3 and struck out 7. Hernandez, 2 innings, a hit and a K. And Paul Gibson, an inning, 2 hits and a K. So the Tigers fall to 3 back. And Oakland is at 8 back. And so the rest of this July 9th, Toronto beat Seattle 6-4. Todd Stottlemyre 5-5. Tallulah Bankhead falls to 6-2. Okay, it's Scott. Ray Quinones 2 for 5, a triple and a double. Cleveland in 11, behind a strong outing from Tom Candiotti. Beats the Angels 3-2. Gordon 2-0. Brian Harvey's 0-6. And Terry Francona 4 for 6. The Red Sox could use him. Mets beat the Astros 5-3. Sure, it's a lot of highlights to read today. Sid Fernandez goes to 7-5. Nolan Ryan 4-12. Kevin McReynolds 2 for 5, his 15th, and drives in 3. Kelly Downs throws a shutout, strikes out 8, walks a man. They beat the Cardinals 2-0. John Tudor falls to 7-4. Brett Butler 2 for 4 with a double. Texas beats Baltimore 8-6. Charlie Huff 7-8. Jay Tibbs 1-10. Ruben Sierra 4 for 4. Hits his 14th with a double. Reds, they're home before the break. That's unusual. They steal 7 bases. I guess Pete had the over on it. They beat Philly 6-1. Browning 10-6. Ruffin 4-8. Eric Davis 3 for 4 with 2 steals. Sorry, John. Montreal 7, Atlanta 4. Jeff Parrott 2-3. Bruce Sutter 1-6. Gerald Perry 3 for 5, hits his 3rd, and drives in 3. Yankees beat the Royals 5-2. Rick Rhoden 5-5. Ted Power 1-7. Claudell Washington 1 for 4, hits his 5th, and steals a base. Doubleheader. The Red Sox sweep the White Sox 7-3 in the first. Wes Gardner 5-0. Melito Perez 7-8. Mike Greenwell 1 for 3, hits his 15th and walks twice. In the nightcap, they were terrible. 28-55. Hey, you're only 19.5 out. Clemens wins the nightcap 8-6. He goes to 11-5. Horton 3-8. Dan Pasqua 3 for 4, hits his 10th, and drives in 3. Where was I? Minnesota just takes the paddle behind the woodshed and clobbers Milwaukee 14-1. Alan Anderson walks a man, goes the distance, goes to 10-1. Teddy Higuera, a good pitcher in his own right, falls to 8-6. Greg Gagne hits a grand slam and a solo homer. He now has 12, drives in 5, and he goes 3 for 5. Dodgers beat the Pirates 4-3. Sean Hilligus 2-1. Dunn 3-9. Anderson 2 for 3, a homer, and it drives in 3. San Diego behind Marvell wins 4-hit day. They hit 17 overall, and they bludgeon the Cubs 9-4. Eddie Whitson 8-4. Rick Sutcliffe falls to 7-7, and a Marvell win, as we said, is that. All right, so All-Star Game is our next baseball stream. We'll have that for you Wednesday live on YouTube at noon Eastern. Thank you for spending part of your Sunday with us, and we'll see you for some hockey tomorrow at noon. Until then, have a good night, everybody. So long.